René Descartes' philosophical proposition that I think, therefore I am, is the existential underpinning for Western philosophy. It's taken as evidence for the very existence of us as humans. It espouses that one's brain and the ability to think sets us apart from other life forms. So my tapas offering tonight plays on this dictum but strays into the physiology of colour perception, evolutionary biology, and the rock art of early anatomically modern humans. I'm of the view that rock art provides us with some of the earliest proof of the human brain, a very creative brain, and that art is a fundamental part of the modern human cultural package, whereby speech, culture and the capacity to store symbolic capital allowed us as a species to colonise the world, establish ourselves in every environment on the planet bar Antarctica, and to become the global phenomena that we are today. Rock art is evidence for our early human origins. The capacity of humans to communicate with each other, their thoughts and knowledge through speech, was no doubt the communication breakthrough that took us from tool-making, high in the food chain primates to coherent social units. It wasn't until this capacity to communicate could be encoded and could be intergenerationally transmitted, however, that humans developed the capacity to outplan, outmaneuver and outdo those other higher order primates. Symbolic behaviour in our deep ancestral past survives from 100,000 years ago, and these artefacts that I'm showing here are from a cave in South Africa called the BLOMBOS site. The geometric symbols on the right are made on a piece of rich red ochre, and the thing on the left is an abalone shell which has been used as a pigment processing kit. And these artefacts and this very early use of red pigment signalled that humanity was well on its way. The fact that red pigment was involved is, I think, significant. Trichromatic colour vision is the ability to see different colours, mediated by 3 types of colour sensing cone cells in the back of the human retina. The approximate number of colours that can be perceived by us with these 3 colour cones is about 10 million. Humans, but few other primates, can actually see this extended range of colour, and hence our unique ability to see red. Well, most of us, that is, because some men only have 2 of these colour cones, which is why they're red-green colourblind. One theory for this evolutionary advantage is that detecting skin flushing and thereby mood, presuming that one flushes when one's happy or angry, may have influenced this colour sensing ability in humans. Whatever the reason, red is a colour which figures strongly in the art of early modern humans and which continues to this day to have significance in most cultures of the world. Our knowledge of early human life around the world comes from many caves in the old world. These fantastic red bison on the left are from Altamira in Spain, and they date in a large assemblage that dates to about 40,000 years ago, while people created the black and white horses in the Chauvet cave on the right there about 26,000 years ago. The creation of rock art by early humans allowed them to transmit complex thought and to create enduring lines of communication between different groups and generations. And we have evidence of the emergence of creativity, aesthetics, and an interest in the environment. Climate change has always been on our minds. These artists recorded their survival through an ice age and the subsequent loss of land with rising sea level. And we can see their journey out of Africa and along the southern dispersal route into Southeast Asia. Rock art provides us with a record of how our ancestors saw the world and how they saw themselves. While language and communication were fundamental to human survival on this incredible journey around the planet, the only record that we have of these early people's abilities to communicate is preserved in rock art. The semiotics of the early art repertoires indicates that these people colonising these new lands had an open signalling art form which allowed them to communicate with people that they may have not been able to maintain verbal communications with. And by 40,000 years ago, we have evidence that people in Sulawesi were marking their country by blowing red pigment around their hands, like the image on the right, and painting figurative animals like these little pig deer on the left. And at about this same time, we have a very similar form of art being produced in the Kimberley region of northern Australia. Here, of course, the naturalistic fauna depictions are of the local animals, such as kangaroos. And we see the production of huge numbers of human figures amongst this art, recorded in red and local mulberry-coloured pigments, the earliest populations to have inhabited that country, recording their material culture, distinctive headdresses, and a range of changing styles through the 50,000 years that we know that Aboriginal people have been living in this land. That's the kangaroo on the right and a headdress-bearing, weapon-bearing human on the left. In the last 4,000 years, the people of the Western Desert have continued this obsession with painting people in place and marking their territories and distinguishing themselves by painting headdresses and other forms of material culture. The materiality of this art is partly signified by the continuing use of red and white pigment, the natural ochres of the land, the hematite and the kaolinite, which can be found at known quarries around the desert. And there are thousands of these types of images across the desert, in red and in white, and sometimes in red and white, signalling cultural difference and social information via non-verbal communication. And sometimes, very rarely, there are pink figures. But so far, I've only found about 5, like this little pink fellow, which is nestled amongst another couple of pairs of white headdress figures. And one wonders whether this was a chance encounter in the paint mixing, whether the intrinsic significance of red and white individually meant that the mixing the two was usually considered to be culturally inappropriate. I'm pink because of red and white. Our ability to discern colour and to use it in creative ways makes the rarity of this combination in the desert make us ponder. So I hope this taster has piqued your interest in the world's most enduring form of visual heritage. Art is a powerful form of human communication, and Aboriginal Australia provides us with a unique lens in the global context through which we can understand the role of rock art in human society through deep time. Thank you.